A great collaboration over the last 4 years. This is how U.S. President Barack Obama described his first term in office with Hillary Clinton, who is now leaving the post of Secretary of State. Both appeared in a joint televised interview as America's top diplomat prepares to step down. Let's take a closer look at how the duo defended their foreign policy in the Middle East. Now, in a CBS interview on 60 Minutes, responding to calls for decisive action in the region, Obama cited Egypt as one of the examples of where his administration played a leading role in aiding regime change. In this quote, he says, "I think had it not been for the leadership we showed, you might have seen a different outcome there. We do nobody a service when we leap before we look." Now, he said this as continuing unrest and mass protests led Egyptian President Morsi to declare a state of emergency and nightly curfews. President Obama, who promoted change in the country, used to enjoy high approval ratings in the Muslim world. But let's look at how the numbers play out now. If you see, recent polls in the region suggest the leader has witnessed a sharp drop in popularity in the region. In fact, if you look at Muslim countries specifically, in 2009, he enjoyed 33%, and then in 2012, it dropped down to 24%. Now, another legacy of Obama's first term in office was his handling of the revolt in Libya against the president, saying Washington's foreign policy made a difference. Despite criticisms, the administration has been proactive enough in the region. Though Muammar Gaddafi probably does not agree with that assessment. This is what he said again on CBS's 60 Minutes. But the September attack on the U.S. Embassy in Benghazi that left 4 top American officials dead raised questions about America's handling of the situation post-Gaddafi. We are not going to be able to control every aspect of every transition and transformation. Sometimes they're going to go sideways. Again, this was said from the 60 Minutes interview on CBS. But both Obama and Clinton admit that the conflict in Syria should be handled carefully, with the U.S. president hesitant on whether intervention would help resolve the crisis. But journalist and author Afshin Rattansi says America's handling of the Syrian crisis and many other international issues have been a failure.
Across Africa, the United States seems to have a policy in utter disarray. China, of course, is making all the running in Africa, another great success of the Hillary Clinton administration. So we've had failures there, failures in Latin America, and of course, the biggest failures, presumably, Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. One could say perhaps Hillary Clinton has succeeded in destroying and attempting to destroy pro-democracy movements in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. Syria has been a disaster in terms of foreign policy for the United States, quite in tune with everything that this catastrophic U.S. Secretary of State has done all around the world, from Latin America through Asia and, of course, Africa, where it's been an utter failure. So certainly in Syria, I think even the U.S. administration realizes that all predictions, all secret covert arming of rebels, it's all been a big failure.